Holy shit. We have Vikings and Lions. I think this is one of the best starts you've ever had. This is my personal favorite so far.
Really? Oh, hold on, let me add the cherry on top.
There you go.
This game went about as expected, honestly.
Well, yes and no, because you know what? Lions had a lead for a short amount of time during this game,
Yeah, but
and
it was a division game. I really, honestly, didn't think Minnesota was just going to run over the Lions.
I suppose.
The biggest surprise to me was that the Lions shut down Adrian Peterson as well. He wasn't really completely shut down. He was shut down by his standards, I guess. But they
Yeah.
did fairly well against Adrian Peterson.
Well, I think
Big
didn't
takeaway.
Adrian Peterson have like one like was it 55 or 65 yard run?
Yeah, he had a breakaway that
But
pretty much
then like
busted.
his total yards were like 90 yards. So he had one really good run and he did nothing the rest of the game. So
Right.
in a way, I would say that's almost is like shutting Adrian Peterson down. Like he kind of got like that one lucky break, and he still did nothing, kind of the rest of the game. And apparently, the big story that's out is because he swallowed his dip on the plane
Well,
ride
he,
there,
he
and
he denied it and said he ate some bad seafood,
okay,
and he said that I've been dipping for over 10 years. I have a tolerance that wouldn't matter. Which I don't know. I used to dip, and I've swallowed some on accident, and it's pretty damn rough. Uh, but yeah, I will say that it is a little bit unbelievable that he'd still be feeling that the next day, especially if he took
that's
the
what
break
I
up.
thought too.
So
Like
I'm
I know
I'm
that
inclined to believe him. I'm inclined to believe him.
I not I'm not. Yeah, I guess I'm inclined to believe him,
Uh,
but that's the very first thing I thought uh, from when I heard the report and that came out. It just seems like one of those stories that like we're gonna make a bigger story than what it really should be type of thing, and it happens a lot in the NFL. Unfortunately, actually, just any sport in general, just like the tiniest thing all of a sudden just blows
I'll
up
be honest.
into something
It was.
huge.
It's funny.
It is
So it's
funny.
just
It
funny.
is funny, but it's almost like realistically not believable because
Yeah.
I don't dip at all, but like from just when I understanding of like my friends or whoever else who do dip and everything, that it's kind of like if you swallow it, you're gonna feel it effects like then, but not fucking like 16 hours later.
I mean, shit. You have tried it at least. It's like you know that it's not like super fucking potent. Like
Yeah,
like you took some hard drug or something.
yeah. It's not like
You're
you
gonna
you just
feel it the
like
next day.
yeah, it's
It's a
not like you like
it's a
took
nicotine
mescaline
bug.
or something and you're just gonna
Yeah.
instantly puke it up and be like, yeah, I'm done for the next 38 hours.
Right. All right. So it's maybe he did. I think he said he's like allergic to something he ate. I don't know. I started reading it and I'm like, I don't really give a shit. And I guess that's
Yeah, whatever. You didn't play good.
yeah,
You can blame it on whatever you want. You didn't play
yeah,
good.
yeah. It happens to everyone. No one's superhuman.
Yeah,
Even Aaron Rodgers threw a couple of interceptions at Lambeau. So I mean, it
it
happens.
happens. Yeah.
The Vikings still won despite that. So they showed that they're a fairly well-rounded team. It was just a few years ago that if Adrian Peterson wasn't carrying the team, the Vikings didn't have a shot.
Yeah, if
So
this was 2 years ago and Adrian Peterson was shut down for 90 yards, they would have lost. Like
yeah,
the end. They're done. And it so they're definitely improving. I don't know. I kind of predicted that the Vikings might be improving faster than what they actually are. But that being said, I guess I want to compare them to the Oakland Raiders on the AFC sides. That they're getting better and better, and they do have a shot at taking a wild card spot this year.
yeah,
And
sure,
I
sure.
think it could happen. And I think the biggest thing that we can talk about, uh, especially in fantasy wise, is Stefan Diggs. Is coming out here and really showing that he is potentially this big sleeper that someone could pick up. My
The
personal
last
opinion,
the
I feel that James Jones is a better sleeper, but that's just
last
me.
few weeks, uh, Stephon Diggs has shown that he could potentially be around for a while
Yeah,
as Teddy Bridgewater's number one receiver,
right, and which would help the
uh,
team a lot.
which he needs desperately.
Oh yeah,
So this could be the year looking back on it, maybe we're like, oh, well, this is the year that Minnesota finally developed a well-rounded offense. So
right.
maybe they haven't completely squandered Adrian Peterson's prime. He's got a few years. He got a little bit left. So, they got a little shot here with him before they got to find a new running back.
Yeah.
So, I guess good luck to Minnesota. And Detroit, well, you tried. You know,
Yeah. Well, I mean, Calvin
good,
Johnson still
good
had actually a
effort,
pretty good
boys.
game.
Yeah, he
It,
did.
he still came out there, but
Well, I said they tried.
they try. And that's the thing is that
Didn't
holy
happen.
shit, this team doesn't seem like much of a different team that they were. Was it 3 years ago where it was like was Brady, Drew Brees, and um, Stafford all had
Y'all had
5,000.
5,000
Yeah,
yards.
was that only
Yeah,
3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that? It doesn't
yeah.
seem to me that Detroit's team is that much different. I mean, hell, they have Golden Tate as their second like wide receiver, who's
Right.
better than any second wide receiver they had back then. You would think I don't know. It just confuses me. It just confuses me a lot of what is going on with Detroit. Of they seem like offensively they have so many great players and they just can't even run with anything on it. And you, yeah, you have Calvin Johnson, but obviously that's not good enough to win games. You
They
know,
need a new coach. Bottom line.
I want to say that is the easy answer, but what is this like the third new coach they've had in the past 5 years? I mean, how
Maybe.
many new coaches are they going to take before one finally sticks?
Yeah, I mean, I guess at a certain point, if you don't give a coach more than a couple years, he the team's just gonna never be cohesive.
Yeah,
No, they can't develop into a cohesive unit. But I mean, when you've got like one win, it's hard to keep a job.
yeah, that's a good
you
point.
know, so it's hard to make an argument that you deserve a second season or a second shot next
I
year.
almost kind of feel bad for Calvin Johnson. He's like the wide receiver equivalent of what happened to Barry Sanders. Like not gonna say that maybe he's like Barry Sanders like standards, but I
He's
mean
close.
he's pretty damn close. And on top of that, it's unfortunate that he's just like this super talented player that unfortunately never caught a break on a great team. And
And that's
I
what's
think
happened to Adrian Peterson thus far too. So
yeah, although Adrian Peterson has had playoff runs with the Vikings at least.
I think Barry Sanders got a couple.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Detroit made it, and it was a few years ago. I remember because they lost to the Saints. So I don't know. I don't think they've made it since then. But I know what you mean as far as Detroit seems to have this penchant for getting great players and squandering their abilities on
Yeah.
sorry ass teams for lack of a better word.
And I guess
So,
it's unfortunate for Calvin Johnson because I think by the time that the Lions like finally get their shit figured out, he's gonna be long gone. You know,
right.
like or even by the time that they might even show potential, like the same potential what the Vikings are showing right now, Calvin Johnson's going to be like his last year, of playing, where it's not even going to matter for him. And I feel bad for the guy because the guy is such a talented player that you would at least hope that he could at least be on a team that he could go somewhere with it. At least get like get to the NFC Championship. Is if that's as far as you ever go. I mean that alone is a good achievement to have.
Right. The Lions are just, I mean, they're just being the Lions, dude. I don't know what else to say. I mean,
I talked about in our Panthers and Philly video of that I predicted the Packers to lose against the Panthers,
right.
and I've been saying this for the past week now that I this is what I don't want to see. I don't want to see that the Packers will beat the Broncos that the Packers will beat Carolina, and all of a sudden the Lions come to Lambeau Field and completely upset the Packers. I'm like, for the love of God, don't let that happen. Because, I mean, Packers right now have the longest streak of winning at home. And
Right.
if you're going to lose that streak, at least like lose to the Cowboys this year. You know, who's a,
Don't the Lions have like this like 20-something year streak of
this is
not
the
winning?
20th year. This year is the
Yeah.
20th year that the if they lose at Lambeau, that'll be 20 years in a row that they have never won at Lambeau. And that's what I'm saying is that, like, if you're going to lose a game at home and break your streak, for the love of God, don't make
That's
sure that
crazy.
it's going to be the line. And
Like if you're that's long enough. Like you could grow up as a Lions fan and be old enough to smoke, and you still haven't seen them win in Lambeau Field. Like you
yeah,
could live your whole life. You're almost old enough to drink. You know, like
yeah,
damn,
yeah.
that's
Exactly. There's
quite the
people,
impressive streak.
there's
Or
children, there's millennials out there who have never seen the Lions win at Lambeau Field. I mean,
uh,
that's just kind of
I
crazy
mean,
to think
shit, I
about.
don't remember it. So I was so young, I don't remember it.
Yeah,
So
same here. Like I think I was 4 years old when the last time they won,
right,
and I wasn't paying attention to football back then.
right, I was
Crazy.
barely coherent.
Yeah, I was just
Uh,
dumbass 4 year old playing Ninja Turtles or something like that.
playing quarterback Carl.
No, I was
Anyway,
playing Madden '94 probably on the Sega
yeah,
Genesis.
that's funny.
Or still
All right,
Tecmo Super Bowl, still a fucking classic. Da 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 da. I don't know. I actually downloaded the entire soundtrack to that fucking thing. It's good times.
let's cut this video off.
Yeah, we're not even talking about lots.
We should talk about video. We got off the video games, and I'm like, hey, that's a good late call idea. Best football games.
Oh man! All right.
Uh,
If you want to have us do a late call segment of who the best football games are, definitely leave us a comment on here, and you can always follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Boom! Segways, we did
Foot boom with John Madden.
it.